Hello, everyone. I'm Desiree Hernandez. I work in Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, and I would like to tell you a little bit of my research and my kind of pedagogy. This presentation is called Decolonizing and Indigenizing Design. Before everything, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands and waters and pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging on the country that I am in the country of the Bangurong people in the Kulin Nations. So positionality is really important for indigenous and decolonial design. That's why I would like to introduce myself a little bit further. So as I told you, I'm Desiree Ibinarriaga. I'm indigenous Mexican mestiza with Maya, Nahua, Basque, and Spanish heritage. I'm a senior lecturer, researcher, creative practitioner, and supervisors in Monash Mara, Monash Art Design and Architecture faculty. And I would like to welcome you to this presentation saying in Lakesh Halaken, that is a Mayan phrase to honor and greet someone humbly and beautifully. And it means I am another you, you are another me. If I do harm myself, I do harm yourself. If I do love and respect you, I do love and respect myself. And it's the principle of relationality and respect. What I give, I receive as well. I am from Mexico, that is part of North America, but also is part of Latin America because it was colonized by Spanish people. I am from the great Tenochtitlan. Today is called Mexico City. Before it was a beautiful lake surrounded by mountains. Today, instead of having like canals, rivers, and lakes, it has like canals and rivers of cars. So they paved everything and now is on the bottom full of water. And these are some of the consequences of not listening to Mother Earth. Right now, every time that it rains a lot, so it gets flooded the city, and these things happen as well. So my research and education focus on indigenous design and better ways to partnership between indigenous and non-indigenous people, and it's a country people-centered design and relational design. Also, I would like to say that in my teaching and research, values are always attached to my practice. The principle and the value of relationality, responsibility, reciprocity, and respect. And for me, values are at the paramount of importance in education and research as well. In indigenous worldviews, we see this material and immaterial side of the things. The material are, for example, products, materials, services, structures, software, apps, books, everything that is tangible and you can touch. But also we have the material that is the worldviews, the cultural significance, the multi-dimensions, the values, the lived experiences, the cultural identity, the spirituality, and the more than human. So we need to think about that when you are doing indigenous design. You need to think about these two dualities, but in unison. We also think about, I don't know, like in design, normally you are trained or teach to look for problems and kind of focus on negative aspects rather than see opportunities. So I see it like a resistant and resilient. So when you're resistant to something, you look for like negative aspects and also problems. And indigenous design see beyond this problem solving. So it's kind of the resilience, the positive aspects, and the opportunities that you have in certain place and certain line. And this is an iterative process. I'm not saying that it's bad look for problems, but also it's important that balance out this kind of opportunity harnessing. Some of my research is focused on my own cultural identity. So in Mexico, we are hijos del maíz, or people of the corn. And some of my research is trying to revitalize and kind of keep safe this kind of knowledge that we have about the corn. So we say that we are like, our flesh is around the corn, and if you can see in the bottom corner on the left, you can see the different kind of corns or maize. And well, all these different kind of colors that we have on the skin, and the culture, and the perspectives, the worldviews, the way of thinking. So we need to think about that. Also, I would like to show this one that is a drawing that I have as well in my book, and it was developed for and drawn by Ulises Resendiz for the book, and it's like the different dimensions that we have in the Mayan and the Nahua culture. So basically, you have the Tonancintlali, that is Mother Earth, that is the real space that you can see. In the middle, with the mountains, the corn, different seasons, but also you have the Osteoteotl, that is the bottom, the way to the place that you learn, and also you have the Ilhuicatl, that is the top part, or the upper world. So there are different dimensions. The upper world is the place to learn, to teach, sorry. So the ancestor teaches, and we can learn from it as well. I would like to present and introduce this methodology. We wrote a paper with my dear friend and colleague, Howard Munroe, a Red River Métis Cree man from Canada. He works in Okadu University in Canada. And I would like to present this one that is called the 7 Grandfather Teachings as a Design Methodology. You can find the article on the bottom in the references. So this methodology comes from the understanding of that someone 7 generations back had done a lot of things for us to be like here and enjoying the Mother Earth and the beautiful things here, or like have done some things wrong, and we are kind of penalized for that right now. So we need to think about what these people 7 generations back have done for us to live like we are, and also think about what we are doing today for the next 7 generations forward to be able to survive, live well, and having a healthier Mother Earth. So these 7 grandfather teachings as a design process is an iterative and non-linear process. You will see there is like steps from 1 to 7, but in reality you can like iterate, and if you are like weaking some kind of step, you can come back to that one. They are relational between each other, even though they are the holistic process can take you to the steps to 1 to 7. The key is that designer must take our best efforts to understand the larger social, ecological, and physical context within which designers are intended to function. Only this knowledge is manifested can be considered knowledge if it's in real sense. So if we think about it, so you can learn a lot of things and information, like, kind of absorb a lot of information from internet, books, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't practice it, it doesn't become knowledge. So you need to practice something to become knowledge. And then also you need to become wisdom, you need to have it like practice it for generations and generations to come. So these ones are the 7 grandfather teachings as a design methodology. Is designed with wisdom, research and analyze with respect, ideate with courage, select with honesty, implement with love, evaluate with humility, and repeat for truth. And these teachings are attached to an animal. The animal is the one that kind of gives their life to this teaching. So you will see, I will show you each of them, and you can understand a little bit further. So the first step is called define with wisdom. And define is the initial stage of that identifies the problem to be solved or the opportunity to be harnessed. Challenge or opportunity must be well defined within a set of parameters or requirements that establish the final concept and the requirements to realize the project. This phase is tied to the wisdom teaching, the beaver, which requires the ability to ask questions and make decisions based on personal knowledge and experience. This teaching wisdom is centered on the beaver natural ability to build environments which are gained through life experience and accepting responsibility and accountability, that are beautiful values attached to it. To use one's own knowledge while respecting our limitations, the beaver reminds us to use sound judgment and recognize our own inner qualities as well as the difference in others in a respectful way. The beaver teaches us to use these gifts to alter and build sustainable environments on the benefit of all. The second teaching is research and analyze with respect. The research and analyze stage gather together as much information as possible within a set amount of time, whether doing interviews, observations, journeying, literally, or image searches. This phase requires the teaching of respect, the buffalo, understanding and honoring what you are analyzing and researching and giving it respect is very important. So how will your research affect who and what you are analyzing? It is essential to acknowledge the information you found and reference it correctly. So everyone can find like ideas and inspiration in things. So just make sure that you acknowledge that as well. It's fine. You will develop something different. Recognize where you found the inspiration and ideas. The buffalo is one of the most important animals in the plains areas and its peoples. It sacrificed the whole being to provide life and ensure the survival of indigenous peoples. By giving its life and sharing every part of itself, the buffalo had indigenous people deepest respect and was mutually shared between the buffalo and the indigenous people. The buffalo teaches us that all forms of respect beings with oneself, including the respect for your body, your mind, your spirit, and your emotions. When you respect yourself and show others you respect yourself, respect will be given. The next grandfather teaching is the ideate with courage. Ideation is the creative and brainstorming stage that is really amazing and fun, and you have a lot of ideas that allows designers to think in non-linear ways to generate ideas. This phase requires the teaching of courage, the beaver, as it is the ability to face danger, fear, or changes with the confidence, to the bravery to expose your ideas and your thought process. Courage is the ability to overcome challenges, be creative, and express your personality and identity. This is the way to do it. Ideation means employing process and methods that enable you to see a problem or opportunity from different perspectives to help generate ideas that are out of the ordinary. So remember that your cultural identity and your way of thinking can be like the uniqueness of your project. The bear represents courage because all of the obstacles, challenges, and fear it naturally overcomes with confidence, bravery, and strength. It is the strength of the bear that it's needed to stand up for what one believes and in and show what is right regardless to the consequences and judgment of others. The teaching of the bear reflects the courage that one must have in the families, and in doing so will find their strength. The Raven organizes, the next teaching is select with honesty. Selection is the stage where you choose the best idea from the implementation. This phase is tied to the honesty teaching, the Raven, which requires the ability to speak and act truthfully and thereby remaining morally upright in your decisions. Honesty is linked with respect by acknowledging how your choices will affect others. We are thinking about as well 7 generations back and 7 generations forward as well. In this step, your selection needs to incorporate ethical values and decide whether it's healthier for the generation and the world. And the next 7 generations as well. The Raven recognizes and accepts who it is and allows the truth to be its guide, to be true to ourselves and to love and respect your own natural form. The Raven does not seek the power, beauty, or speed, of others, but rather it has been given to survive. To walk throughout life with an integrity is to know honesty and recognize and accept who we are and not seek to deceive yourself or others. Truth give us the ability to act without regret and to know who we are in our hearts. By knowing that, we also know the truth. The next one is implement with love. Implementation is the materialization of model making, stage where your ideas are tested. So it's really challenging. But also really beautiful because you kind of like do it with your heart. This phase is tied to the love teaching, the eagle, which requires the commitment to the project to be unconditional. Remember that if you put a lot of like thoughtfulness, love, and you can see the outcomes of your design and projects being way different. So there is a purpose in it. The love and passion that are put into the implementation process are always reflected in the outcomes. Pursue those things that capture your heart. So the eagle is an spiritual center of many indigenous people. For example, where I'm from in Mexico is one of the spiritual animals in Mexico. Actually, in the flag, we have the eagle with the snake. And in the place I live right now in Melbourne with the Bungaroo people, the eagle is the greater spirit. So it is kind of something that I believe that I'm here as well for that. So connecting with the spirit of the eagle and its mate teaching help guide us not to only reconnecting with your true self, but also reminding us the importance of having unconditional love for ourselves, others, and our environment. The eagle has so much to teach us and is always at the center of our spiritual core. It has the ability to transform us, and for this reason, we always need to listen to that teaching. Of all the creatures, the eagle can reach some of the highest points in the sky, was chosen by the Great Spirit to represent love teaching. Our core is made from the Creator and contains pure unconditional love. To know love is to know how to love oneself wholly and fully. The next one is evaluate with humility. Evaluation is the stage where design ideas are evaluated and critiqued. This phase requires the humility teaching, the wolf, as your process and ideas are being analyzed and give constructive feedback normally. This is very challenging stage and it's quite stressful because it can true reflection of your abilities, and some can be very hurtful, like your limitations as well. It is an essential teaching because you overcome challenges, understand your limitations and capacities, you improve the concept, your design ideas, and quality in materialization. This is the stage of growth and improvement. It can be really tough, but it can be also really strengthening your own self. The wolf reminds us that there is a much higher power to know this and live by this daily. It requires one to be humble. The world teaches us that this through the spirit and the way in which it lives its life. The wolf always considers the pack before itself and reminds us not to be live selfishly and consider others. The wolf demonstrates this by not taking food unless everything is shared with the pack. Each member of the wolf, a pack, understand their own individual place within the pack and respect their place, and to carry this pride within pack and not within ourselves. It is in these ways that the wolf teaches us to be balanced within ourselves and the community. So we need to think about that not everyone has the same kind of skills and lived experience, and everyone has something to share. So we need to think about that there are a lot of different perspectives, worldviews, and skills that can be shared and create something way bigger and way greater. So if you collaborate, you will have like better kind of outcomes as well. And the last one is repeat for truth. This through repeating ourselves the design process, basically, the desired outcome can be eventually achieved. It is a non-linear iterative process until you reach the desired result. That's what I mean, that you can come back to one of or the other teaching if you think that is weak, and then review like what you have done and what you have researched and what you have inquired. This phase is tied to the truth teaching, the turtle, which requires you to look back to understand if you have gone through the decision process and be true to all 7 grandfather teachings. This teaching of truth is represented by the turtle, as it was here during the creation of the earth, and it carries with the teaching in the life in the back as a form of the calendar. If you think the shape of the turtle, it has like 13 kind of like a bubbles on the top, and that is the calendar. The turtle lives life in a slow and deliberative way, and it understands the importance of both the journey and the destination. Truth is not to know all of these things, and requires faith and trust in our teachings, and it is practiced by demonstrating honor and sincerity in all that we do. By understanding your place in life and apply these teachings, allow us to be true to ourselves and all other things as well. So this one is really important because you can look back and see what you have done, and if you have done it very well, ethically, and with purpose as well. These ones are a couple of examples that I want to give you of a cultural significant design. So this one is the agave. It's a spiritual plant that you use to connect to the different dimensions in Mexico. The agave is an indigenous design. It's a cultural significant furniture sculpture. It was shown in Tonacintlali exhibition, a multidimensional Mother Earth in Black Dot Gallery, and Jaring Jiramboy exhibition at Mada Gallery as well. It was it's been a winner in the Design Australia Awards in 2023. The agave is an example of an indigenous design and cultural significant design. The agave furniture sculptures embodies relationality between people and place. So, for example, me and Mexico, my ancestors, is founded on ancestral knowledge. It holds cultural significance, and it is functional as well. Sustainable, visually aesthetic, and it facilitates space for ceremony and indigenous and non-indigenous practices. The agave connects in material and immaterial elements of culture. So what I was telling you, that it has like these 2 elements. The furniture, while using and interact with it, transitions to become a space, an indigenous practice or events. So when it's like all assembled, it looks like a sculpture that is an agave, and when you pull it away, all the pillows, that are 14 pillows, you can put them on the floor and have a yarn, like do workshops, like relax and everything, and becomes a space. So how a design from a sculptor becomes a furniture and becomes also a space. So the agave is an example of a way of becoming. It is an indigenous relational design where country, knowledge, and people are deeply interconnected. The agave significance occurs while using it, when people become bound to its energy, mobility, and flexibility. The agave allows for reflecting, creating, and making, either communally or individually. The agave allows me, as an indigenous designer, to connect with my ancestors, to recover and conserve knowledge, and to share with it. The agave sculptor uses the 7 grandfather teachings as a design methodology. It holds design with wisdom while respecting, reviving, and conserving bicultural diversity and ancestral knowledge from the Nahua culture, giving back to community while disseminating and sharing the diverse worldview. The agave was researched and analyzed with respect while acknowledging to the connection to the lands, waters, and skies, and ancestral knowledge with our abuelitos or elders. It was ideated with courage to challenge Western beliefs and embracing of my cultural identity while creating an idea out of the ordinary, a furniture sculpture with the shape of an agave, with 14 pillows that allows people to sit on the floor level or yarn. Practice, ceremony, play, relax. I selected this element with honesty and respect, as I mentioned before. At this moment, you can see that the 7 grandfather teachings as a methodology is not linear, but cyclical, and the values have relationality between them. I implemented the materiality with all my love and share this love with the co-creators, co-makers, through the process of building with respect, collaboration, commitment, which reflects in the act of the agave. We evaluate and reflect individually and in a team about the challenges, possibilities, process, finishings, understanding our abilities, limitations separately and in a group. Within this space that is co-created, we listen, we observe, we make, we create, we balance each other. We iterate and repeat throughout the experimentation for truth and to reach the design result. We trusted each other. I designed in relational approach and we co-made in relational way as well. The agave is an indigenous design and relational embodied experience and a knowledge connecting with people and place. This one is the second example that I want to give you of indigenous design and how it has evolved. So this design, I call it that is alive because it has agency and it evolves each time. So the in Lakesh symbol, so the Mayan interaction that I show you in the beginning, that is the in Lakesh, Halaken, I am another you, you are another me, became a symbol that is like ancestral symbol as well, that is called Ometeotl. Ome is two, Teotl is gods, is the duality, but also the unisons of this duality. Then it became an interaction and sharing that I will show you in a bit, and then it's becoming a furniture sculptor as well. So the third one that I show you, it was draw your own culture. So every person had like a half of the of this half of the Ometeotl. And then they draw their own culture. Through community engagement, I invited people to draw and share their culture. Bringing two different designs together from two different cultures to create an interesting juxtaposition and share through yarning. So for example, I had like one part and then I started to yarn with other person about their culture, and then we kind of share cultures and we started to learn about each other and other perspectives and other worldview. So this one is the Ometeotl project that it will be attached as well to the corn kind of design. So it will be intervened by indigenous artists. I will do a few of them, and we will talk about our own cultural identity and also our cosmology. I would like to just close with gratitude. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this talk, and hopefully you enjoy so much. Thank you and have a lovely day.